today's video is a very long-awaited one. You guys have been super patient with me. This is my 6-week post-op breast augmentation update and Q&A. Now, I'm very late filming this and I'm very late posting this. I'm not actually 6 weeks post-op anymore. I am a little over, I think, 12 weeks post-op. Basically 3 months post-op. Also, there is going to be updated photos in this video. You'll be able to compare 2 weeks post-op versus 10 weeks post-op because I didn't take a picture at 6 weeks. And let me tell you, the difference is crazy. I know some people were asking if I would be sharing updated pictures or if they have changed a lot, and they have. Let's go back a little bit. So at 2 weeks post-op, I actually went back to the US. For those who might be new here, I live in Germany. My husband's in the military, and so we live in Germany. And I went back to the US, to Texas specifically, to visit my family. And so at 2 weeks post-op, I left and went on a plane for 12 hours. 2 weeks post-op, that was great. I was fine. The only thing is, of course, you can't lift heavy things, so I couldn't lift my bag really on my own. And sleeping on the plane was a little bit uncomfortable because I had a whole row to myself, and usually I would lay down, but it was a little bit challenging to lay down on my side because I hadn't really started laying on my side at 2 weeks post-op. I was still laying on my back. Now we can fast forward to 6 weeks post-op. 6 weeks post-op is when I got back to Germany. So I flew back, I think literally on the day that I was 6 weeks post-op. Coming back, super easy. Like, by that point, by 6 weeks, I had no discomfort at all. There was no tightness, no nothing. 6 weeks post-op, they were starting to soften up. They're softer now than they were then, but they were getting soft. They had dropped, obviously, quite a bit. So by 6 weeks post-op, I was sleeping on my side, any way I wanted. I ended up starting sleeping, TMI, I sleep naked, okay? I don't know who doesn't sleep naked, but if you're not, like, what are you doing? But I started sleeping with no bra again, and yeah, like, I was completely back to normal and could start, I could lift my own suitcase coming back and all of that kind of. 6 weeks post-op, like I said, you can start lifting things more than 15 pounds, so at that point you can start going to the gym. The biggest changes, I know that was a really quick update, but like, that's the main changes, is that by that point, everything was indeed back to normal. Yeah, so at least for me, it is true that by 6 weeks, everything is pretty much healed. It's not completely healed. It can take up to a year for your body to fully heal itself, but by 6 weeks, it's healed enough to where things are normal. Oh, one thing I can tell you that I kind of forgot to say is the stitches. When I got to the US at 2 weeks post-op is when I could take off my band-aids and stuff, like dressing that was on the incision. I was gonna do it before I left because it was bothering me. It was a little like, I don't know why it was bothering me. It was a little like just uncomfortable with the bandages and stuff. So I did not trust my husband to do it gently enough. So I waited to have my mom do it. We all know our moms are better at those things. So I waited so that she could do it. The night that I got to the US, I had her try to take them off because at that point your stitches are supposed to be dissolved, your incisions should be fully closed. I was reading online, it takes literally like 48 hours or something, like it's crazy, for your body to close up the incision. Like only 2 days, crazy. By 2 weeks, like the stitches are supposed to be dissolved and everything. So I had her take off the bandages. Well, not all the stitches were dissolved, and I think in my paperwork it did say that could happen, that not all of them would dissolve. My stitches a couple of the stitches were stuck to the band-aids. I had a band-aid and my gauze, and then the really strong butterfly like bandages. They were going all different directions, like really covered up. Well, those were stuck and very stuck to my stitches. Well, my mom, and of course me, we had no idea that there was even gonna be stitches. So she just started like ripping them off, and there was a little stitch stuck to that Band-Aid, and it ripped the stitch out, which it was fine, like nothing crazy happened, but it just hurt. Pulled it out and there's like a tiny little dot. That's it. That was the worst. After like a day, the little kind of like burny feeling of, you know, when you get like a little cut or something, it went away. Both sides were like that, and then a couple weeks later, the stitches were still there, like the ends, and so I had to get her to kind of tweeze them out. And then I also, when I got back, there was still one, so I had to have my husband take it out with the tweezers, but that was fine. That didn't hurt or anything. That's the main update I have for you. Let me go ahead and show you the pictures of 2 weeks post-op versus 10 weeks post-op. So 2 weeks, 10 weeks. The difference is crazy. So as you're gonna be able to see in the 10 weeks post-op, one is dropping faster than the other one, which is pretty normal, I think, and I didn't really notice at all until I took this picture and I was like, one is definitely higher than the other. That should even out over the next like few months. Now let's get into the Q&A. The first question is, can you lift in the gym after healing? I've heard mixed opinions and I love the gym. So yes, you can lift just fine, just like you were before pretty much. I mean, obviously you're going to lose some strength. Yes, you can lift in the gym. In the gym, I have lost a little bit of chest strength for sure, but that also could be because I was out of the gym for 7 months. So I was out of the gym because I was not allowed in the gym. The gym kicked out all of the dependents for a long time, and then I had surgery, so of course I couldn't work out for 6 weeks. So it could be a mixture of both for me, but yeah, I'm lifting just like I did before. Some chest workouts feel a little funny because the implants do kind of like, I don't know, you can kind of feel them when your muscle like contracts sometimes. It just depends on the way which way it does it, you know? How long did it take you to save up, assuming TRICARE didn't cover it? No, TRICARE did not cover it. There have been a lot of people that have said over my years as a military spouse that TRICARE will sometimes cover plastic surgery if you can go to mental health and convince them that there is no other way to fix your mental health, basically, other than getting plastic surgery. That would be a very long process, like a long process, I'm sure. I'm sure there's people who've done it. They would make you do tons of therapy, I'm sure, before doing it, which, I mean, I guess it's not a bad thing, but like if you want plastic surgery, you want plastic surgery. Like therapy's not gonna change the fact that you want your boobs done, you know? If anybody that is watching this has done it, you can comment down below. But yeah, usually TRICARE doesn't cover plastic surgery just because you want it. I did not save up. So I took out a personal loan through my bank. I paid, I think it was 20% up front. So 20% I already had, I think it was like $800, maybe a little less, that I needed to pay up front to book my surgery, and so I already had that in my savings, so I just did that, and then I went and took out a personal loan. I paid $3,500. Like I said, I went to a wellness clinic in Belgium, and it was $3,500 US dollars. I took out a loan of like $2,700 or something like that. Yeah, I have about half of it paid off already, so super easy. Like literally I was approved in like a day. Of course you have to have like good credit and all that stuff. But yeah, that's how I did it. I don't know why I never thought of about that before, but once I was like, you know, I could just get a loan for a couple $1,000s and do it. So that's what I did. If you're looking for somewhere in the US that is a similar price point of that, like if that's your budget or whatever, there is CG Cosmetics in Miami, and it's literally the same price. Next one is, do you regret it at all? No. Heck no, I do not regret it. This is literally the best purchase. I feel like I don't know if I want to say the best purchase I've ever made, but it's up there. It is very up there. I've wanted my boobs done for a decade or more. Like when I was little, all I wanted was boobs, and I never got them, so I bought myself some. Are you planning on getting them redone after kid? So I I don't know if we're gonna have kids. I don't know. As the years go on, I'm like, do I really want to do that? Like, they're cute and all, but I don't know if I want to do it. But if we do have kids, it won't be for another like 8-10 years. The rule of thumb kind of that I've looked into is you are supposed to get them done after 10 to 15 years to get them redone. But that is actually more for saline implants. I got cohesive silicone, and apparently doctors are starting to, I guess, notice that the cohesive silicone, since it's stronger and more durable and everything, that they last longer. I don't know if I need to get them redone. It's not that big of a deal since it's literally in 10 years from now. I know a couple of people who have had their boobs done before they had kids, and their boobs still look great. So I think it just depends on the person. Are you happy with the size you picked, or do you wish you would have gone bigger / smaller? I am super happy with the size. I think that I'm really happy with the size. Like, I think they're perfect. I don't think they look too big on my body, and I don't think they look like small either. I didn't want small. But there is a thing called boob greed when you get your boobs done. And basically, it's like once you get them done, you're always gonna want more. Would I be mad if I had gone bigger? No, I would totally not be upset if I had gone like 100 cc's bigger, but I'm really happy with the size. Overall, I definitely would not have gone smaller. I think if I would have gone smaller than what I did, I would not have been happy. And I think I would have been happy, but like, I think I would have been like, I should have gone bigger. How many cc's did you get? I got 475 cc's. To kind of put that in like perspective for you, I was an A cup, barely an A cup, probably more like a double A, in between an A and a double A before, and now I am a D. But I also now have swimsuits and bras that are D and triple D. So I'm anywhere from a D to a triple D now, which is crazy. You know how cup sizes work. They're not all equal on bras and swimsuits and stuff. So it just depends on the brand, the cut, the shape, whatever. Somebody asked, did you go over or under the muscle? I think I already said that in this video, but I went under the muscle. I personally, and I think a lot of doctors also think that is the best way to go. Do they feel natural? Is it hard to sleep with them? Anything you don't like? They feel super natural, I think. They're not as soft yet as what I had of natural boobs. So I also don't have that much to compare it to because I didn't have hardly anything. But I think that they feel super natural. They're like, I mean, you can see like they're super squishy. So yeah. Is it hard to sleep? So no, they're definitely not hard to sleep. But one thing to say is when I first started sleeping on my side and laying on my side again, it was really kind of weird because I've never had anything right here, you know, like right here up by my arm. And so when you lay on your side, it's like this, like, you know, it's kind of in the way. When I first did it, it was like, what is this? Why is this in the way? But now I don't even notice it. So I think it was just kind of like a slight adjustment period to kind of like figuring out where do I put my arm when I'm sleeping. What's the worst part about the healing process? You know what? I can tell you what the worst part is. The worst part was the first few days when I slept sitting up. Bandages, if you watch my other video, I took off the bandages early that they had me wrapped in because they were making my back, they were making me hunched over, and they were making my back hurt so bad that, I mean, it was aching constantly. My boobs didn't even hurt, it was my back. And I quit sleeping sitting up at, I think it was 1 week post-op. I started sleeping on my back because I couldn't do it anymore. Why did you decide to get them done in Germany versus the US? So then there's like a little thing that's like, I assume, you know, because you live there. Yes, really just because I live here, and it's the easiest way to get it done. I kind of considered, barely, just for like a split second, I considered getting them done in Miami, but it would have cost me a lot more to get them done in Miami. Even though the price of surgery was the same, it would have cost me a lot more because I would have had to book a hotel there, I would have had to book flights there for me and my mom, you know, because I need somebody with me. It would have cost me like at least $1,000 more to do that. I just did them here. It wasn't because like of a doctors being better here or better in the US, whatever. I think that there are a lot of really good doctors in the US, but those ones are gonna be like, those ones are gonna run you like $10,000, you know, the really good ones. But I did get them done in Belgium because it was cheaper than in Germany. All the places that I looked at in Germany would have cost me like $5,000 to $6,000, so double the price basically. What was the cost, and do you know how it compares to the US cost? So, like I said, I paid $3,500. And I think the cost in Europe is pretty much the same as the US. The average cost of a breast augmentation at just like, you know, not a famous Beverly Hills doctor, just a normal doctor, which they're all good, but I mean, we know the ones that are like very well known. Average cost, I believe, is between like $4,000 and $6,000. That's the average cost of a breast augmentation. And then how long until they didn't hurt anymore, like don't hurt to the touch. So they never actually hurt to the touch, like ever. They were a little bit numb at first, and they never hurt though. Yeah, they just never hurt, really. Nothing ever hurt, to be completely honest. But when it started to be comfortable to like touch them or whatever, probably like maybe 4 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks post-op, around there somewhere is when it was like, when they felt normal, basically. How has working out been with them, especially cardio? So I don't really do cardio. I hate cardio. I hate running, hate any form of cardio. So I don't really do it, but I have run up and down my stairs in my house and they're fine. It's definitely a little different having something there because they do move a little bit now. They're starting to like move when I run. Yeah, it hasn't bothered me. It just is like, oh, that's different. Like I've never had that before. Working out, of course, has been pretty comfortable other than some chest workouts every once in a while. Oh, that feels kind of weird, you know? But yeah, speaking of them being numb at first, or like tingly numb kind of feeling. My nipple feeling. In the previous video, I told you guys that I couldn't feel my nipples. I can feel my nipples again. They're actually more sensitive than they were before, which I personally don't like. They are, I can feel them. So yeah, I wouldn't have been mad if I lost feeling, but the feeling is back in my nipple. So that is all of the questions that I got. That is my 6-week / 12-week post-op. I could not be more happy with them. I mean, I love having boobs. Let me know down below if you would like me to still do a surgery must-haves video out of the things that I did purchase, like what I actually used and what I actually think is worth buying. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!